Mr. Gordon, good day.
Good day, Mrs. Elgin. I hope I'm not calling at an inconvenient time, but I'd be most grateful for a word with you.
Oh, will you come in?
Oh, thank you.
Oh, Mr. Gordon.
Oh, yes, indeed. It's about the brass polishing roster. It seems to have got out of order.
Oh, yes, I wanted to have a word with you about that. Will you leave your coat and come through to the fire?
Oh, very well. Thank you. Oh, Miss Matlock.
Your chill has cleared up, Mr. Gordon.
Oh, indeed, yes, thank you. And you?
Oh, I've excellent health.
Ah, and your sister, Miss Matlock?
Oh, she's very well. I had a letter from her this morning.
A letter? But is she not back?
No. Now, about the brass, Mr. Gordon. I did it on Wednesday because it had not been done properly. I know that Mrs. McIntosh has not been well.
What'd you put on it, woman?
I rubbed a wee bit of butter on.
A fine mess you made.
Well, it didn't ease, so I applied baking soda.
You're all ready for the oven, then?
Well, I was a wee bit flustered, you ken.
There, I think you'll live.
Thank you.
Is dinner there already?
Aye. Have it while the house is quiet. You keep out of sight. I'll deal with it. Good day to you, Mr. Gordon.
Good day, Miss McPherson. Is Dr. Cameron in?
Well, he's just this minute back from his round and about to sit down to his lunch.
Dr. Cameron, I'm sorry to be calling at this hour.
You're always welcome, Mr. Gordon. All right, Jack.
With your permission, Doctor, could Miss McPherson stay? I think maybe she could help, at least ease my mind.
Well, come into the sitting room. Take a seat.
Thank you.
Take a seat, Janet.
Do you recall the neat house with the grey gates called Notley? It lies third in
Mrs. Elgin's house?
Aye. You'll maybe have attended Miss Matlock, her sister.
Way back.
Oh, it would be Miss Matlock's been away visiting these past 3 months.
Is that what you understood?
Aye.
That's what Mrs. Elgin has been giving out. But it's not true. Miss Matlock's in the house. I just saw her.
Aye.
Dr. Finlay.
Good day, Mr. Gordon. There's something wrong.
Sit down, sit down.
Miss Matlock hasn't been in church for months.
Mrs. Elgin never misses a service.
You're suggesting Miss Matlock hasn't been away at all?
I don't know what to think. Mrs. Elgin says she's away. I know she's there. Miss Matlock herself put her finger to her lips. Man, it's you lunatic.
Do they keep a servant?
Not these 6 months or more, Doctor. Mrs. Elgin can't keep one. She follows them around with a duster. There's a jobbing gardener, but he couldn't get past the kitchen door.
She was a nurse, I believe, before her marriage.
Oh, aye. She'd have frightened Florence Nightingale. She killed her husband.
Miss McPherson.
Aye, she did, with cleanliness. He smoked in the hen house. He couldn't sneeze in the drawing room, and he caught his death of cold taking off his boots at the back door.
Mr. Gordon, I don't quite understand why you've come to me.
Dr. Cameron, Miss Matlock is ill. Man, if ever I saw a troubled spirit.
Your province, I believe. What of mine?
She looks ill, haggard.
I've not been called. Have you, Dr. Finlay?
No.
What do you expect me to do?
You could call.
Without being asked. I wouldn't wish to be told, quite rightly, that when they need me, they'll send for me. Mr. Gordon, elderly sisters living alone get up to all sorts of daft capers. If Mrs. Elgin pretends her sister isn't there, that's her business. If she pretends she is there when she isn't, that's police business.
But that's not the case.
Right so. I really think the best thing you can do is to call again.
Well, I'm sorry to have wasted your time, Doctor. Good day to you.
Well, not at all.
Good day to you, Mr. Gordon.
Good day, Mr.
Oh, a soft job that. Finds trouble and hands it on to another man to sort out.
Aye. All the same. It's an odd kind of story, what I can hear.
Of course it's odd. Elderly women living alone are always odd. If they're over a certain age.
Doctor, they can't help their age or their sex.
No more can I, unless I'm asked by the patient.
situation that'll bear looking into.
A good idea.
Aye, you'd think so. Well, woman, are we to eat today? Now, that's a patient you're hooked. Yeah, take that.
Miss McPherson could have seen a doctor. His boy's side his leg and we can't stop him bleeding. Calm down. Could you get him quickly, please? Most awful worried. Just wait here and I'll tell him. It's Aggie Ferguson at the door, Doctor. Her father scythed his leg half off, and they can't stop the bleeding.
You can bide. The Fergusons are my cross. You wouldn't find your way to that cottage in the first place. And you wouldn't survive the fleas if you did. I'm inoculated. Well, Aggie, you sure it wasn't his neck?
Oh, it's his leg, Doctor. I saw it. They just brought him home from the farm in a cart, and the Holton started off again. Most of the defections, you can't stop him bleeding. Can't stop him yelling either.
Jump in the car. It's as well the hood's down.
Oh, dear.
I'd miss his lunch for that, eh?
Oh, he'd never admit it, but he's a very, very soft spot for the Fergusons.
She's been a bonny lassie, that Aggie. He gave her a good scrub down.
Oh, he just likes them. They're a happy family. As happy as pigs. You'll eat, Doctor.
Oh, will that?
Well, it'll be ready by the time you've washed your hands.
Aye.
Uh-huh.
Janet,
Aye.
what did you think about that Mrs. Elgin business? I thought Dr. Cameron made kind of light of it.
Oh, who's to know what Dr. Cameron made of it? Doctor, did you ever throw a stone into a pond?
Aye, often.
Oh, well, so did Dr. Cameron when he was young. He knows better now.
There you are. There's a good girl, Aggie. A gust of fresh air through here won't do any harm.
Doctor, you could sit by yon crack in a north wind and blow your hair back in again.
You've a good broth going there.
Oh, it's just the remains. We had the meat the day. Oh, the burns fairly lapped it up.
You can take all that away now.
Aye. You know, he bled through 2 shots and a pair of pants, so I thought I'd better send for you, Doctor.
Very proper, Mrs. Ferguson. Beats me how you managed to slice through your calf like that.
Oh, it's easy, Doctor. I've done it before, you know.
You've done most things before, haven't you?
So I wonder if there's any blood left in him.
Well, there's plenty where that came from. But one day he'll saw through a main artery, and that'll be that.
Do you hear that, Duncan? Will you not be careful?
Oh, you don't think I did it on purpose, do you?
Well, it's what Mr. McIntyre thinks.
Your farmer.
Aye. He's thinking it's Duncan's idea just to sit indoors in comfort.
Comfort. The children may keep you well.
Oh, lively as crickets, Doctor.
I saw young Hamish in his pram outside.
That's no Hamish, that's Doogie.
Huh?
Hamish is in his feet long since. There's Jamie. Here, come on and see the doctor, Jamie. Oh, an awful while.
Have you started work again, Aggie?
She goes back next week, Doctor.
Back. Woman, didn't I tell you that skinning cats is no job for the girl?
But they pay well.
I don't care what they pay. You told me yourself, Mrs. Ferguson, that Aggie never had a day's illness till she went there.
Come a living, Dan. Pawn more have enough to do without keeping me.
I know. Well, Ferguson, there's your leg.
Oh, you keep your foot in the chair, Paul. Here, you should send the bill to Mr. McIntyre.
McIntyre? I wouldn't do the doctor much good, eh?
I'm afraid it won't. I'll want to change that dressing in a day or so. You understand? And as for you, Aggie, I'll try and find another place. I don't know why. You're an undeserving lot. Now, get the wheel on my feet.
What is this?
It looks like my skirt.
Aye. And where did I find it?
I don't know.
In the cistern, that's where. Have you gone way out of your mind?
There was a stain on it. I couldn't get out.
Well, if you've seen the mess you've made now with your foolishness, look at it. Och, in the cistern, for goodness sake.
I'm sorry, Flora.
I'll get you some water now and you'll scrub it till it's fresh and sweet. You understand?
Fresh and sweet.
Did you wash yourself this morning?
Yes, Flora.
All over ye?
Yes, Flora.
How was it then your towel was scarcely damp?
I don't know.
How could you have? Eh?
Oh, it's so cold in the bathroom, Flora.
You'll wash yourself the now.
Oh, but I'm all dressed.
Do you hear?
Oh, dear, oh, dear.
You'll take off your clothes and you'll bathe and you'll make yourself presentable. Do you understand?
Aye.
And you'll leave the bathroom clean after ye.
I will. I will.
I'm to come in.
Yes. Don't creep like a mouse.
Oh, I come for Pa's new dressing. You said he was...
Where is he?
Was at home. Oh, I thought I'd save him the journey.
My dear Aggie, I want to dress your father's leg. You can't drive it up and carry it away. He can walk, can't he?
Aye. Well, not very well, but he's working.
You're afraid he won't come, aren't you?
Oh, he never thinks himself. I'm always worried.
Have we anyone else out there?
Oh, no.
All right. I'll come home with you. Cameron? Who? Yes. How often? There's nothing to worry about, man. I'll be along in 10 minutes. Dr. Finlay.
Aye.
Have you to go up the glen?
Yes, I have.
Will you take Aggie Ferguson with you and dress her father's leg?
Aye, if she'll show me the way.
Doesn't he know how?
Oh, I think so. Anyway, it'll be good practice for him, won't it? Come on.
You know the way, Doctor? You know when you go up for the doors, how you remember the button.
Jamie, there's the doctor's car coming up the glen. We'll help it through the mire. Here we stand. Sit still. Come on. You cuddle up to Doogie and have a wee sleep. That's it. Don't kick him. There. Oh, Aggie loves a ride in that big car. But if it's any sense, he'll stop it before he comes to help.
What's he doing here?
Coming for your leg.
Oh, that's well enough.
Who says? We haven't had the wrappings off yet. Goodness knows what we'll find then.
What do you think I am, an Egyptian mummy, eh?
There they are.
You are. It's not as big as Arden House.
No. I will. Go wee merrily on, eh?
Mind the beat.
Maggie. Oh, come on, help him, Maggie. Come on. Get him down there. That's it. Come on. Oh, my. Who is it?
Who's who? Oh, it's the doctor. You can Dr. Finlay.
Oh, aye, the young one. Oh, yeah, that's a bad start, eh? Aggie, look away and get some water. Look, he's cleft his head.
How you feeling, doctor, eh? You'll be all right in a minute. It'll pass off. Done it myself hundreds of times.
And you'll be all right soon, don't worry. Would you like your feet up? Oh, look at him, Duncan. Is as pale as death. Should I call the doctor?
No! Got me all right.
Don't you rush. It's okay. Ferguson can undo himself, can't he?
Stand back, Aggie, in case the leg falls off, eh?
Come on, Aggie. Give his head a wee dab there, eh? That's it. That's it.
It's that.
Just a wee bit bracken in it, Doctor.
I could find.
We're a wee bit of a muddle, you see.
Muddle. I mean, how can you bring up bairns in a place like this?
Well, I've brought up 5, Doctor. Oh, no, 6.
The place must be teeming with germs.
Aye, but they've learned to live with us, doctor, eh?
Look, I'm not joking, Mr. Ferguson.
Oh, I do get straight from time to time, you know, Doctor.
Mrs. Ferguson, you'll have to do something to clean this place up.
Oh, it's no easy, Doctor.
No, Aggie, no. The doctor's right. Look, we've got to do as he says.
I won't expose your leg to this atmosphere. You can come back to the surgery with me.
You've got to get to my what, doctor?
Look, I'll bring you back in the car.
Aye, I will, aye. Mind your skull, doctor.
What's the brawl out of that, eh, Aggie?
It's not fancy manners.
Oh, no, it's a firm way with him, aye.
Will I find a broom?
Aye. And here, listen. Keep your eye on Jamie. He's not to tear any more paper off the walls.
Aye.
It's human nature. It has nothing at all to do with reason.
But Dr. Cameron...
I know. All the textbooks on your side. And if we lived or died by textbooks, all the Fergusons would be dead. Half of them would never have been born.
Dr. Finlay.
What is it, woman? Where have I seen that before?
On the waiting room table for the past 3 years.
An unprofitable venture.
Dr. Finlay, you'll no mind clearing after yourself.
No, but I draw the line at washing up.
Like the Fergusons.
I'll get that place cleared up if it's the last thing I do.
A bunch of tinkers in a tied cottage. It's falling to bits about them. And you're beaten from the start. Is it in order to ask where you're taking that ill-considered act of faith, Janet?
I'm going to call on Mrs. Elgin for a contribution.
Indeed. You'll bear in mind, I didn't suggest it.
Well, you'll bear in mind I didn't ask.
Live and let live. The Fergusons will survive anything. Except maybe you.
We'll see.
You might see more than you expect.
Oh, Miss McPherson.
Good afternoon. Now, I know perfectly well there are a great many calls on your purse, but I couldn't risk leaving you out. There's some would take it amiss.
I'll fetch my purse.
Well, I'll just step inside, shall I? After all, one doesn't want everyone to see what one don't need, does one?
Will you come into the sitting room? Will you come in, Miss McPherson?
Oh, thank you very much. Oh, you're at your tea. I didn't think.
No doubt you've had yours.
I have not.
I could persuade you to take a cup then?
Well, I'll no be hard to persuade, for by the Elgin china alone is worth sitting down to.
Will you sit down, Miss McPherson?
Aye. You're keeping well.
Oh, I've excellent health, but you need scarcely ask as you're Dr. Cameron's housekeeper. I'm well enough.
And Miss Matlock, back from her visiting, I gather. It did her good?
Oh, she's poorly.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'll tell Dr. Cameron. He'll be pleased to call.
Ah, he would. Private patient. Sugar?
Uh-huh, thank you.
Miss McPherson, my sister is suffering from a slight cold and is keeping to her room. She does not require medical attention.
It's a wicked world, Mrs. Elgin.
So they say.
Tongues wag for no reason at all, idleness and spite, and Tannic Bray no better than the rest. I shall have to speak to Mr. Gordon about it.
About what?
Well, if you're seen in public when they think you shouldn't be, they'll talk about that. If you've no seen at all, it's worse. They'll have you buried in your own garden, and the knot tied in the hangman's noose. Did you say a cold?
Hardly that. A simple precaution.
One can't be too careful.
I can see that. Excuse me. Harriet? Harriet, dear? Will you come down, dear? Miss McPherson is here, Harriet. Janet, Dr. Cameron's housekeeper. She'd like to pay her respects to you.
I'm pleased you're back, Miss Matlock. How are you?
I'm fine. Just fine.
Doctor will want to know how you are.
I'm just fine.
Miss McPherson is just leaving, Harriet.
I'll remember you to your friends. They'll be very interested. Good day, Miss.
So was she good for 5 shillings?
She was good for a shilling, Doctor. She was good for nothing else.
I've heard Mrs. Elgin called many things. I've never heard her called good for nothing.
Oh, Doctor, that's a bad house.
And Turnick Bray, does the sergeant know?
I'm not joking.
A pity that. You should try it.
I've no wish to hide behind a sense of humor.
Are you suggesting I do?
You know perfectly well you're afraid of what I might have to tell you.
Janet, the world goes on wagging because sensible men know when to run away.
And when to make a stand, Doctor.
Am I required to make a stand?
Dr. Harriet is sick. She's sick. She's half daft with fright.
Did she say she was sick?
She did not.
Did Mrs. Elgin say that Harriet was sick?
She did not, but if I hadn't forced a hand, I wouldn't have seen Harriet at all.
They have a right to privacy.
Then you won't call.
I'll call when I'm called.
You'll admit it's a situation that'll bear watching.
I've never denied it.
I'd feel happier if they had a servant.
Do you have anyone in mind?
I'm not asking you to do anything for Harriet. You do something for Aggie Ferguson.
Aggie. Get Aggie into Mrs. Elgin.
It's a healthy job, good training in housewifery.
Oh, she's not presentable.
Just you leave that to me.
Aggie, will you stop it? You can't. Aggie!
Oh, for God's sake, you're the skin off me.
Oh, they're a daft lot, Doctor. But still, scrub she said, and scrub you'll be.
It's no healthy. It takes the oil at your skin.
Oh, natural protection, but you can't tell them.
My old mother used to say, wash up as far as you can get and down as far as you can get. It'll do for the Almighty. Nobody else has cause to look.
All right, everybody at home.
Aggie, that's no call to go showing the doctor all you've got. Sit in the way of business. Oh, I'm awful sorry, Dr. Finlay.
That's all right. I didn't call to see Aggie anyway. It was you. I'd heard that you'd slipped and fallen.
Ah.
Oh, you're not dead anyway. I'm surprised that you slept with all these peelings on the floor.
Oh, that's Hamish, Doctor. You know, he loves the way they curl up. Could play with them for hours.
Look, Mrs. Ferguson, you can't go on like this, you know.
Ah, but you see, Aggie had to have a bath for Dr. Cameron.
Look, now you make up a bundle of washing, all you can find, and I'll take it to the laundry.
Oh, Doctor, we can't.
It's all right. I'll pay for it. Just to give you a start. Now, go on.
Oh, no, Doctor. We can't let you
Away
do
with
that.
you. Now, where's the bucket?
I know in there. You'll upset the kitten. Be the cat in 7 last night. Very nice for the Waynes to play with, you know, Doctor.
What about the curtains?
The curtains? Oh, Doctor, I don't think they could stand up to
Well,
it.
we'll try.
There you are, Doctor.
Thank you. Now, remember, you have to give this place a good scrub out. Have you any carbolic?
Carbolic?
Ah, stuff for the infirmary.
And to make a home sweet to live in, it should be. Do you not understand that? I'll get you some. Now, remember, all the corners and all the ledges and the outside.
If you say so, Doctor.
Ah, I should do anything for you, Doctor.
Look, it's not for me. You never think about yourselves.
Doctor, I have tried, honest. Place just crumbles.
Yes, I know. Has the farmer ever been inside here?
Oh, no. And you see, it's the bairns.
Yes, it was them I was thinking about. They shouldn't be exposed to disease like this. Right then, I'll play my part, but you've got to make an effort. Now that's an order.
No, Doctor. You forgot your wee bag.
Duncan, do you think it's too late to change the bairn's name to Finlay?
Ma told me to do it, but I couldn't find a needle. Paul must have hidden them from Hamish. Now, do you understand? Oh, aye. I go along to Northley House. I take the letter with me. I say, Mr. Gordon told me to call, and Mrs. Elgin will give him a job. We hope. You know the house? Oh, aye. You can see the brass knockers shining for miles. Well, we'll see. I'll give you this. You'll look funny. Took time. Well, you'd need to be to get a job with Mrs. Elgin. Oh, they never care at the factory.
They don't care for anything.
You get used to it.
I know. I sometimes wonder if there's any condition we can't adapt ourselves to. It's a remarkable machine.
In the factory?
Inside your own skin.
Now, you've only to keep the house as it should be kept. Just look and learn. And come back and see us in a day or two and let us know, how you're getting on. Suppose I don't get the job. Well, I've got my fingers crossed. Thanks for the dress, anyway.
Bye-bye. You've been downstairs.
No.
You've been downstairs.
I haven't been out of my room.
You're lying.
No. Oh, I leaned over the banister.
I've told you, you're to stay in here.
Aye.
You're not fit to be seen. Don't you understand? You're not fit to be seen. I won't have this house disgraced with you. You're to stay in here.
But I'm so weary of it, Flora.
Oh, and I'm weary of you. Weary of trying to make even halfways respectable. You've no concern for your person at all or anything about you. Why was this not put away?
I'll do it now, Flora.
I'll do it. Oh, look at it. Rubbish the lot.
I'll tidy it.
Filthy rubbish everywhere I
I'll
look.
sort them out, I promise.
I'll not have them in the house. I'll burn the lot.
Oh, no, Flora, they're all I have.
Old rags, dirt collecting everywhere.
Oh, you'll not burn them, Flora.
Well, I'll not have them rotting up here, attracting all the moths and the flies in Christendom. What do you think you're doing?
I'll sort them out.
I'll sort them out. They're fit only for the stove.
Flora, not my grey dress. What'll I wear when I go out?
Where do you think you're going?
Nowhere. Nowhere at all.
The smell in this room. It's like a pest house.
Oh, dear.
Did you change your sheets this morning?
Yes, Flora, and they're washed.
Good. Oh, this house is getting old. The wood is verminous.
In here? Oh, no.
There are ways of destroying them, Harriet. We'll do it together tomorrow. We'll not leave 1 inch for them to thrive in. Here's your pen. And don't lie to me again.
I'll wash it before I put it back in my head, Flora.
It couldn't be more soiled than your hair. One night, I'm coming with my scissors, and I'm going to cut it all off whilst you're sleeping.
Oh, don't say things like that.
Long hair's unhealthy. First thing you do in hospital, cut the hair off. It's unhygienic. Oh, if I didn't keep an eye on you, you'd live like a gorble slut.
Flora.
You'd be crawling and festering in a hole. What are you crying for? You're getting childish. Old and childish.
No.
Well, you have to be strict with children. They need to be trained.
Flora, don't lock me in. Oh, Flora, I won't come down, I promise. Flora, open the door. I can't bear it, I can't bear it. Flora, are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Oh, Flora, I want to go to the bathroom. I mean it. Flora, please, open the door. Oh.
What do you want?
Good day, Mrs. Elgin. Mr. Gordon sent me down with this note. Oh, the note's about me, Mrs. Elgin. Mr. Gordon thought maybe you could use me for some of your rough work.
I don't require anyone.
If you'd read the note...
Mr. Gordon's mistaken. I don't need you. Now, run away out. Go along, right away.
It couldn't have been more than 10 minutes after Aggie left. She must have been in.
You can't be sure.
Man, I rang that bell like doomsday. Mrs. Elgin's not deaf.
We all are when it's convenient. She saw you coming, perhaps.
The more cause for alarm. I am her minister. Look, man, I'm not concerned for personal vanity.
Well, that's plain. You're asking me to call where you yourself are not welcome. But I haven't been called.
Dr.
Now, one moment, Mr. Gordon. If you believe there's something amiss in that house, you should phone the police.
But I've no evidence. All I have is an awareness of evil and an apprehension of disaster.
Events may well justify it.
If you call, you risk professional embarrassment. That may prove a comparatively small price to pay for peace of mind.
Protect your own peace, Mr. Gordon. Leave mine to me.
Look, Dr.
Keep out
Cameron.
of this. You prate of apprehension. Man, I am afraid. I'm not young. I know the possible consequences of doing unsolicited good. Just hear me out. In my youth, I was persuaded to call uninvited on a man who it was feared might take his own life. Gordon, he got the consolations of my philosophy. 10 minutes after I left him, he put his head in the gas oven.
On the facts as you state them, he might have done just that anyway.
He might not. Don't you see? I don't know. I don't know the consequences of calling on Mrs. Elgin. And it might precipitate the disaster you apprehend.
I think it far more likely to prevent it.
You sleep with your own conscience, not mine.
Dr. Cameron, I'm prepared to take upon my conscience the burden of yours.
A meaningless gesture.
You doubt my sincerity?
I deny your power to suffer another man's pain.
Then what in God's name am I to do? Dr. Finlay.
Dr. Finlay? Oh, I'm very sorry. Yes, of course. Bye. That was Mrs. Elgin on the phone. Her sister's been taken ill. She wants one of us to call round, so I'll get my bag.
You will not. Miss Matlock is my patient.
But it's no trouble.
Is it not? Good day, Mr. Gordon.
Thank God. Thank God she's come to her senses at last.
It wasn't Mrs. Elgin on the telephone. It was the chemist. I made an obvious error in a prescription, and he was asking my permission to change it.
Doctor!
You lied.
Mr. Gordon, out of evil, good may come.
I doubt very much if the doctor was deceived, you know. If there is anything amiss at that house, I'll get off scot-free. If there isn't...
Dr. Finlay, I'm deeply grateful to you. But I'm obliged to pray for a situation that you may find very painful.
Well, I'm not over fond of moral principles myself. You'd never know which is the dirty end of the stick.
My vocation obliges me to make up my mind.
Good day,
Dr.
Mrs.
Cameron.
Elgin. I'm sorry your sister's unwell.
Oh, but Dr. Cameron, just a moment. Just a wee moment. I'd like a word with you. Dr. Cameron.
This is her room, I believe. Oh, I'm afraid it's stuck. I wonder if you'd mind.
Oh, well.
Thank you.
Hey, see? Dry rot.
Dry rot? Did you ever? And the place ringing wet half the time.
What's it do, Doctor? We've never noticed it.
I thought it was just the mice eating it away.
Aye, well, you have them as well.
Aye, shouldn't put yourself to so much trouble, Doctor. We touch of cement here and there.
Now, there's the bottle of carbolic that I promised you. I use plenty of it. A generation or two of germs skulking about here.
Is that him away, Doctor?
No, he's got the outside to do yet. Old McIntyre's going to get a shock, eh?
I hope he knows what he's doing.
Well, you can see that.
I mean the doctor.
Of course.
Come on, we'll see what they're up to, eh? Oh, come here, Rena.
Oh, what?
Just get up with the ladder, is
No,
he?
the one that's broken.
Did you say that? Come on.
Here.
Yeah, you know the one.
Well,
Mrs. Elgin, I've given your sister a thorough examination. There's no doubt she's suffering from serious nervous debility. She urgently needs attention. I've suggested the Maycroft Nursing Home.
no.
An excellent place.
Oh, it's out of the question. I won't have her taken away. We've never had anything like this in our family.
Miss Matlock's very happy about the idea.
Oh, she doesn't understand.
Mrs. Elgin, she's only going for a rest and treatment.
But who'll believe that? The whole town will say she's daft and been put away. No, I won't hear of it.
So that's your trouble. Mrs. Elgin, do you wipe dirt under your carpets?
I do not.
It's what you're doing to your sister.
I'm perfectly able to look after her here. I am a nurse.
Well, then you should respect my recommendation. I'll ask the matron to call on you and make the necessary arrangements.
But, Dr.
You'll find her
Cameron-
very pleasant, and your sister will be competently cared for. Good day, Mrs. Elgin.
Doctor. Will you have him take another scone, matron?
No, thank you, Mrs. Elgin. Well, now, would the end of the week be suitable? Dr. Cameron indicated there was some urgency.
Oh, yes, the doctor's right. She should be away.
Or shall we say Saturday?
Will she have a front room or a back?
Oh, back, I imagine.
Good. You wouldn't want her dinner sailing through your front window.
Is she liable to do that?
Oh, well, you must know how it is.
Mrs. Elgin, we're not a mental institution, you know.
Oh, no. I wouldn't like to
I'm
think
not
of Harriet.
licensed to take mental patients.
But Harriet's not like that. No real trouble. And anyway, Dr. Cameron wants you to take her, doesn't he?
Yes. I'll have to see her, of course.
Will you come up? This way.
Mrs. Elgin, Dr. Cameron led me to believe Miss Matlock is suffering from nervous debility.
Of course. Oh, I'm sure she's going to like you, and it'll be such a nice change for her. It'll be a lovely break for me, too. Of course, there's been no real difficulty for me. I was a trained nurse myself once.
Indeed.
I do hope you have a kindly staff.
Oh, yes.
Good. I'd like to think of Harriet being managed gently.
Managed.
Harriet?
Good afternoon, Miss Matlock. I'm very pleased to meet you.
Good afternoon.
It's with the matron you'll be spending your little holiday, Harriet. Do you understand?
Oh, yes, of course.
Oh, you've been getting on with your packing. Have you packed your nice grey dress, the one you're so fond of?
My grey dress. But Flora, it's burnt in the stove. But, matron, if you just wait until Dr. Cameron... Oh, here he is. Would you hold on just one moment, please? Dr. Cameron, it's the matron of Maycroft. She's not taken Miss Matlock.
Give that to me. Cameron here. Well, why not? Mrs. Elgin is a liar. Buttoned. Very well, you know your own business best. Goodbye. I like a dram. It wouldn't take her. Says she's not licensed for mental cases.
She's not mental.
Of course not. I've been done in the eye.
Well, there's other nursing homes.
If I called one at this time of night, they'd think she was a mental case, too.
Ah, well, there's nothing more you can do tonight. Here we are.
I'm not seeing her. You'll be putting me to bed next.
Well, I could do worse. Dr. Cameron, you know perfectly well it's time you were in bed.
Oh, Harriet, do be quiet.
Will you no pity? Oh, Flora.
Oh, stop your blethering.
I want to tell you something, Flora. I want to tell you. Oh, dear. What did I want to tell you? Flora, I'm sorry I didn't eat my supper. No, I did eat my supper. Flora, I'm here.
Oh, Harriet, get back to your room.
All right.
Miss McPherson, could I see the doctor? Oh, it's a bear, Miss McPherson. He's dying. It's Doogie. Could you get a doctor? Oh, Dr. Finlay, could you come quickly? It's Doogie. He's drunk the carbolic. Oh, doctor.
However did it happen, lass?
I don't know, but he's foaming at the mouth in yellow blue marker.
Come on, Aggie, quick.
Don't lock up, Doctor. Dr. Finlay's just gone flying off to the Fergusons.
On what now?
The bear drank carbolic. That's awful toxic, is it not? Will it die?
Depends how much.
They said it was foaming in the mouth.
Foaming?
I thought it was odd.
Did you know?
But Dr. Finlay's fair distracted, it seems he gave them the bottle.
Harriet! Oh, I thought that door did us. Harriet. 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 I'm bleeding. Oh. The blood.
On the carpet. Oh, I'll clear it up. I'll get him up and clear it up. Oh, don't worry, Flora. I'll clear it all up.
Did the bairn die?
It wasn't corrosive poisoning.
No, but it might have been. I'd eaten half a bar of soup. I brought this damn stuff back with me.
Come away to the fire and thaw out. Put your toes in the fender.
Up the stair, Mr. Gordon, the door to your right.
Thank you, Dickie.
What can I do for the dead? Where's Miss Matlock?
Good morning, Dr. Cameron.
Miss Matlock.
There, there.
I canna go. The step's not been half stoned.
It's all right. You're coming with me now.
Oh, no! It's a dog bite.
Aye, at the farm.
You know, Duncan, anyone would think the number of accidents you had that you didn't like your job.
Doesn't make any difference now. I've lost my job. And the house, too. McIntyre got a notice about repairs to the cottage. He sent the dogs on me. Could you maybe see him for us, Doctor?
See him?
Aye. Wife says if anybody can get us back in, it's you. She's great faith in you, Doctor.
Aye.
Ah, he'd never set the dogs on you. I shouldn't think.
Back early?
Aye.
McIntyre's given Duncan Ferguson the sack.
Aye.
He's given him notice to quit the cottage.
What you start, you have to finish.